Good morning. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. We are going to have our hand weights come into play a little bit later on. Also have a cushion nearby. And we're going to get started with a little warm up here. So find yourself standing. Feet are hip width apart. And we're going to start from the bottom today. Thinking about our feet, grounding your feet down into the floor. Little micro bend in the knee, both knees. And we're going to start with the toes. So let's plant the big toes, push them down into the floor, and then pick up all the other toes. So it's a bit of a, sometimes this feels a little bit awkward at first. So you're pushing down the big toes and lifting all the other toes, okay? And bring them right up off the floor. And just holding them up there for a minute, so really spreading the feet out. And then let's lower those toes down. And then switch it. So now all the other little toes are going to stay down. We're going to just pick up the big toe. And sometimes, like I have one big toe that just kind of takes a while to get up there. Sometimes they don't do exactly what you have to really concentrate to get them to do what you want them to do. So just holding that big toe up there, really planting down through all the toes. And now let's bring that big toe down and switch it again. So the little toes all come up, big toe is planting into the floor. Just waking up all the tiny intrinsic muscles of the feet. And holding those little toes up, can you lift them a little higher? And then placing those little toes down, give them a moment, and then bring the big toes up only. Just noticing how hard that is to isolate your feet and letting all the toes come down. Just feeling like you have a really good connection with all the toes. Let's start to alternate lifting your heels. So side to side, rolling through the ankle. And while we're doing this really basic exercise, we're just going to start to think about the center of the body a little bit. Start to draw up and in through the abdominals. And reach the crown of your head up to the ceiling. Maybe you draw your chin in just a little bit. And let's leave the right ankle up. So now left foot is flat, right ankle is up. We're going to nod the chin and roll down into a forward fold until you can touch at least your fingertips on the floor, maybe your full palm. And we're going to bend in like you're curling into a little ball here. And then extend the standing leg, the one that has the full foot on the floor. You're going to bend and extend. So curl up into a little ball. And then extend your sit bone up to the ceiling on that long leg. Couple more. Bend. Extend, draw up through the abdominals, let your head be heavy. One more time, bend, curl up, and then extend that long leg. Take a big breath and ragdoll back up to standing. A lot harder to come up when you have one foot on the floor. And let's switch it. So bringing that left heel up. Now the right leg is long. We're going to nod the chin and roll down till you feel your hands on the floor. Then curl up, round your spine over your thighs, bend the long leg, extend that long leg, pushing that sit bone up to the ceiling. Bend and extend, probably feeling some hamstring action here. Bend and reach it up. And one more time, bend. And reach it up. Let that left heel come down so both feet are flat. Grab your elbows and let's just gently sway side to side, focusing on lifting through the abdominals, supporting your lower back here. Big exhale. Notice your breathing. And just one or two more sways, side to side. And then coming to center, let your arms drop down long. And let's take our time coming up. Keep the bend in the knees, keep the abdominals lifting, and ragdoll up to standing, rolling your shoulders. Bringing your hands to heart center, we're going to move into some hip movement. So you're going to bring your right leg up. Now we're just standing strong on the left leg. Squeeze that left glute. We're going to open and close this thigh. So we just bring it out into external rotation, bring it back in. Opening it up and bring it in. One more time. Open and back. We're standing, stay right where we are. We're going to bring that heel and tap it back behind you and bring it up in front of you. So just straight up and down, flexion and extension. Waking up all the little muscles in the ankle and the knee here on your left leg. One more time. Kick it back and bring it up. Awesome. Switching sides. We're going to bring the left leg up. Really stand strong on your right leg. Opening and bringing it back. Just great hip mobility here. Open and bring it back. Can you just touch into your abdominals? Notice what's happening in the center. Out and back in. And again. And back in. Now we go backwards. Tapping that foot behind you and pulling the knee up. And back. And up. And two more. And up. And last one. And coming back up, planting both feet right away into our arm circles. This is where we start to really find our abdominals. Pull them up and in. Make everything nice and still except your shoulders and your arms. Coming forward, reaching through the arms. Create your own energy here. And let's go back. Nice big openness through the collarbone. Be mindful of the rib cage. One more. Let's clasp those hands behind our back. Reach your knuckles, squeeze your shoulder blades, and let your chin reach up to the ceiling. Reaching the front of your chest forward. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze through the shoulder blades. Take a deep breath here. And gently releasing that. Bringing your left hand to hold your right forearm. Keep your forearm flat and move your wrist. So we're circling the wrist without letting the forearm join in. You might get a lot of snap, crackle, popping here. I do. And let's go the other way as well. So keep that forearm nice and still. And let's do the other side, left side circles. So good for your wrist joint to get these articulations. Let's go the other way. Nice. And last but not least, let's roll up into our shoulder blades. Roll up just a few rolls back. Nice big elevation through the shoulder blade into the ears. And finishing, bringing the arms long. And let's just move our ears side to side, dropping one ear down. And then the other, just taking your time. Feeling a nice big stretch through the side of your neck. You're reaching for your fingertips here. So you're creating more space between the ear and the shoulder. And then nod the chin and let the chin float up. One more time. Awesome. Letting that go, coming to the end of your mat. Just get nice and centered on your mat. Nod your chin and roll down, forward fold. Pressing the hands into your shins, reach up into a halfway lift. Finding a nice lift through the spine. Imagine someone's holding you up by a string between your shoulder blades. While we're here, just lifting the abdominals, making your spine a little longer. Imagining a bit of a tug of war between your tailbone and the top of your head. And from here, we're just going to start to alternate lifting our arms. Float an arm, bring it back, up and down, maintaining this long spine. Send your sit bones way back behind you. You should feel your hamstrings lengthening. Just moving through the shoulder. One more. And let's soften into our forward fold. Allow the spine to curl forward and ragdoll up to standing. Roll your shoulders back and bring your hands to heart center. We're stepping out with our right foot into a square lunge. Stepping out, finding this lunge. So my right knee is bent, my left leg has a little bend in it, but it's kind of straight as well, okay? We're going up and down here. Lower the knee down and pressing up. Now your knee doesn't have to touch the floor. That's optional, depending on your knee range of motion. We're up and down here in our lunge. So let's stay really tall here. We might want to feel, our chest might want to drop down to the knee, but we're going to keep that chest lifting instead. And up and down. And just notice, does your front foot have a lot of weight in the heel? Could you pick up your toes and keep going? And let's do 4 more here. 4, 3, 2, and last one, letting that knee come down to the floor. Let's come into a nice big side bend. Bring your left arm up and over. Enjoying a bit of a hip flexor stretch. All a nice length from your elbow all the way down through your hip into your IT band. Just breathing into that stretch. One more big inhale and exhale. Hands come on either side of your foot. You might need to center this foot, the right foot, a little bit. We're bringing our hands down. So this could be a little awkward if you're feeling a little tight in your hips. That's okay, just work with what you've got, okay? Now from here, tucking your back toes, you're gonna come up and bring the leg engaged behind you. So your left leg is really alive, reaching energy through your heel, and then you lower that knee down. Exhale, picking the leg up, reaching through the heel, and down. Now can we lift our chest a little bit here? Of course, you're gonna be touching your thigh. Your torso is touching your thigh, but we want to let the chest stay lifted rather than curl down. And let's go back up, reach through that leg. One more time, reach it up, and lowering it down. Coming back in, we're going to step into our plank. So from here, tucking those toes, hands are planted. Step into your plank. You could put a square knee down if you need to. We're going to sway our weight 5 times. Gentle sway forward, pushing through the toes. Exhale, back through the heels. And again. And exhale. And back, forward. This is less is more here with this movement. Last 2. Strong shoulders. Last one. And back. Bend your knees and walk your hands back towards your feet. Taking a forward fold and just enjoying that for a moment. Let your head release, shaking your head yes and no. And take a big breath in Exhale, let's ragdoll back to standing. Roll your shoulders, set back up for the other side. So this time we'll be stepping our left foot forward, bringing your hands to heart center. Take an inhale and exhale into a square lunge. Hips stay so square. The back leg has a partial bend. And we go into those up and downs. Staying tall. Just checking with the shape of your torso here. The head is still stacked on the shoulders. Rib cage is stacked on the hips. And we're up and down. Noticing where the weight is in your front foot. Both hips are facing forward. Imagine you had a flashlight on each of your hip bones and both flashlights are flashing forward. Up and down here. And let's go for 4 more. 4, 3, stay tall, 2, and 1. We're going to lower that back knee, untuck your toes, and come into a nice big side stretch. You can gently let the weight slide forward just a little to get into your groin, into your hip flexor. But we want to stay nice and tall. Couple more deep breaths here. Notice if you can increase the space in your rib cage with your breath. Hands come on either side of the foot. Maybe you center that left foot a little bit. So your chest should be touching your thigh here. Tucking those back toes, we come up, engage through that leg, reach energy through the heel, and then lower the knee. Exhaling it up and lowering it. This can be quite intense through the groin, through the front of the hip. And exhale it back. Pushing that heel back, just gently back. Finding energy and pushing it out through the sole of your foot. 2 more. And down. And down. From here, when you're ready, you're going to step back into our plank. Pushing up through the leg, the other leg steps back. We're back in this plank. Lift through the core, reach your spine long. We sway 5 times, forward and back. Tiny little sway. Big exhale as you push energy back into the heels. 2 more. And last one. Lower your knees. Let your thighs go wide and take a shell stretch, child's pose. Resting your head and releasing your tailbone towards your heels. Nice big breathing in and out. Filling up the lower back with air and then allowing all of the air to come out. Awesome. All right, we're moving into some all fours. So if you need a cushion under your knees, go ahead and throw that under now. And then find yourself in a perfect square, all fours position. Hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. And this whole position is connected by your abdominals, lifting away from the mat. Your neck is in line with your spine. We're going to come into, actually you guys, before we get started, sorry I missed one step, let's bring our weights forward with us and just put them out in front of you. We're not going to use them quite yet, but we will need them soon. So finding back to that square position, we're going to put all the weight into your right hand and bring the left arm up. We're going to do single arm breaststroke here. So we're reaching up, pulling all the way down to your side, bending the elbow and repeating. Now it's up to you to find the energy here. Imagine you're pushing through water. There's constant energy running through the fingertips of your hand. Just reach and pull. Everything else stays exactly the same. Super square, engage through the center, and pushing up through the palm of your right hand. Strong, stable shoulder. One more time. Reach and pull to your side, planting that hand down, bringing the right one up. So really strong shoulder here, constantly pushing the floor away with your left hand. We're going to go into the right side. Pull it around. So this is all about mobility through your shoulder joint, isolating the shoulder, the lats, the entire shoulder girdle, reaching up, pulling to your side. And let's do 4 more. Can you engage through that left arm a little more to stay lifted? 3, 2, check your head position, and 1. Awesome. Letting that go and grabbing onto, let's take a weight into your left hand. Okay, so the left hand is going to be the mover. Now, I want you to visualize the letter Y here, okay? So the angle that we're going to lift this weight is out on an angle, creating a Y, 1/2 of the Y. I'll just show you. So you're here, we're going to lift it and put it down. Lift and put it down, but it goes out on an angle. It doesn't go straight up, okay? So picture the letter Y, and then we're going to lift that weight and bring it down. Exhale it up. Inhale it down. And up and lower. So we're using the back of the shoulder here. Nice controlled movement. Everything else is square. And let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one. I struggle with that left side. Okay, from here we're going to keep this weight in our hand and come up into a row. Pull that weight right up beside you and hold it. We're reaching that leg, that arm back behind you, holding it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, keep lifting, 1, bend the elbow. Deep breath in, press it back, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bringing it in. And again, we're still strong on this right arm, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bend it in. Check in on your abdominals, reach your spine. Hold it back for 5, 4, keep squeezing the shoulder blade, 2, 1, bring it back. We have 2 more rounds. Reach it back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bend it in, last one, press it back and hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let that go, shake it off. Let's come off our wrists, just really shake your arms out. Awesome. All right, switching the weight over to the other side. So we're going to go back into that letter Y, out on the angle. It's call that range of motion scaption. So when you're sort of between flexion and lateral lift, you're in scaption, okay? So before we do anything, take a big breath, bring your tummy nice and close, reach your spine. Then you're going to take that weight up and back, out on the angle. Up and down. You've got a micro bend in your left arm, in your elbow. and down. Big exhale as you push it up. And let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Why is that so hard? Shake that left wrist just for a second and then reset. We're going into our row. Pull the elbow up beside you on the right side. Extend that arm and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can feel my head wants to drop here. I'm getting tired. Really check your head posture. Send it back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the elbow. And again, reach it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep breathing here. 3 more rounds. Reach it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. And again, squeeze that shoulder blade. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. And last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Letting that go, shaking your arms. All right, we're bringing both weights into the picture now, coming up into our high knees, tall knees position. So we're up a little higher. We're going to squeeze the glutes, engage your tummy. So there's got to be work on both sides here. Otherwise, we'll end up here, okay? So keep your core on, keep your glutes squeezing, and we're going to bring our arms up here into a W shape. All right, from here, you're going out a little and overhead. So it's like a half circle. And we pull back down. And then we go out a little and back overhead to touch. Then we go back exactly how we got there. Nice. And up and up, out and up. And back. Nice. And again. Can we squeeze those glutes a little more? Draw in through your tummy and get a little taller. Up. And back. And let's do about 4 more, nice and slow. Shoulders are staying out of the ears. 3. Can we check our abdominals? Bring them in a little closer. Last 2. Little space between the ear and the arm. Last one. Awesome. Letting that go and putting both weights in one hand. So let's put them both in the right hand, bringing your left hand up behind your head. We're tipping over, but I want you to think of it like this. We reach up and we tip over. Okay, so first you get tall, then you tip over, letting that weight pull you down. Exhale, pulling back. So now the long side of your body is bringing you back nice and tall. And imagine you're between 2 pieces of glass. Let's pull in through our tummy a little bit more. Nice work. Can you squeeze your glutes? And over and back. Let's slow it down just a little. We go over and we pull back. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Where you should feel this is all down the side of the longer side of your body. Whichever side you're tipping over, that side's doing the work, okay? Let's go to the other side, switching it up. So now you're holding both weights in your left hand, right hand behind the head. Draw in through the abdominals, line everything up nicely, and we go over. Exhale, pull up tall. Over. This is also great range of motion for your spine. There's not a lot in our lives that we do in side flexion, so our spine doesn't necessarily get to go here very often in a true side bend. And over, and really take it slow. If you're feeling your lower back at all, you're just going to minimize the range of motion. Let's keep our head on top of our spine here. The head's gonna wanna fall forward. Let's do 4 more. Slow it down just a little. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Now we're going to put the weights down here. I'm going to show you this move from the side. We're going to come into some thigh stretch. So we're still up here in this tall knee position. Our arms will float out. We're going to move backwards, keeping the shape of your torso and your ribs and your hips stacked. So we're not heading back with the upper body, and we're not heading back with the bum. Everything moves together. Imagine that your body is a board and it can't bend, okay? Float the arms up. We're going backwards. Bring your belly button with you, coming back until you feel your thighs lengthen. And then we push up, arms come to your side. So let's float the arms and send everything back until you feel that length. Exhale, pull up nice and tall. And we go back. Thigh stretch. After a couple reps, you'll start to feel these quads lighting up. Can you squeeze your glutes a little bit more and bring your belly button in a little bit more? We're going back all in one piece and pulling up. That looks great. Reach it back and pull it forward. Let's do 4 more here. Back and up. Keep breathing. Exhaling up. Thighs should be warm now. Last 2. Last 1. Awesome. Let that go. Move the cushion if you're using one and come down onto your back. You're going to bring your weights with you. And we're going to start with a weight in the right hand. The left one can just, the other weight can just go off to the side for a sec. Okay, so first things first, let's do a nice big stretch. Just enjoy that stretch, release your rib cage, reach through your fingertips and your toes. And then just notice your rib cage while you're stretching. The position that it wants to take. It wants to pop forward. We want to arch through our mid-back. It feels good, okay? But what that does is it shortens up your lower back and it lengthens out your belly. So instead, we want to allow these ribs to draw down. Not when we're stretching, but in life in general, when we're working out. We want to keep this rib cage drawing down and stay connected with your skeleton, with your torso, instead of allowing that disconnect between the rib cage and the pelvis. So we're going to take this arm, the right arm, up with the weight and bring your left hand and put it on your rib cage, on your right ribs, okay? So you should just feel like you can feel your whole rib cage here. We're going to let that weight go overhead and just want you to feel what happens underneath your hand as the weight goes down to the floor. You can feel how that rib cage wants to pop up, right? So let's bring the weight back here. Now take a big breath in, and as you exhale, lower the weight. So big exhale. And I hope you can notice that as you breathe out, your rib cage goes downward, okay? So let's float that weight back up again. Now let's do it without thinking. Don't even worry about your rib cage. Just allow that weight to fall back behind you and notice what happens in the shape of your torso. That rib cage pops forward. Okay, so just that kind of gives you an idea of what I mean when I say let's connect with our rib cage, draw the rib cage down. All of those cues that I use, this is what we're looking for. We're looking to keep the ribs connected when the arm goes overhead. One more time, just holding onto that rib cage. Allow the weight to go over and exhale deeply. And just noticing that rib position. Let's do the same thing on the left side. So now take your right hand, put it on your ribs. Take a big breath and then exhale, lowering the weight over your head. And just noticing what happens under your hand. And then bring it back up. And let's just do 3 more. Deep exhale this time. Big inhale. Exhale, allow that weight to go over. And notice how your rib cage stays still instead of popping forward. 2 more. We're working the upper abdominal when we do this. Big inhale, exhale, slowly letting that weight go down. And back up. And last one. And back up. All right. Now, switching it back over to the right side, bring your left knee bent, right leg is long. Bringing that weight over your head a little bit, keeping that rib cage connection. We're going to nod the chin and flex up, reaching the weight past your left leg and floating it back overhead. Now this takes some concentration because as that weight goes over your head, you can lose the rib cage. So just stay connected. Exhale as you flex up and rotate. And back. The right leg is long. The left knee is bent. So we're coming up and over. Reaching that dumbbell right past your thigh. And can you think about the muscles under your arm, your lats? And just use those to control the weight as it moves around, especially when it goes over your head. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Great, switching arms and switching legs. Now the right knee is bent, left leg is long, and we're going to be using the left arm. So let's start it floating, not on the floor, but just a little bit lifted here. Your right arm is down beside you. Nod your chin, flexing up, reaching past the right thigh, and back. Big exhale as you reach up. Hopefully you're feeling your oblique on the right side, lighting up every time. And let's go for 4 more. Reach it up. And last 2. And last one. Awesome. Letting that go, putting the weight down for a sec, shake your arms out, and let's come into an imprinted lower back. So closing up the space between you and the mat, bringing the legs up. We're going to come into some single leg stretch, but we're going to do it quite slow. Okay, so let's bring both your hands to your right knee. Push into that right knee just a little bit. Nod through the chin. And flex your head and shoulders up. Now, if this is too much for you, you're just going to do everything else, but keep the head down instead. We're reaching the left leg. Exhale. And then we switch the hands, and whichever knee is coming in, the hands are pushing against that knee. Big exhale every time. This is the pace. So the upper body is staying the same. Can we flex up just a little higher, but make sure that the chin is not on the chest. Reach, 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 and reach. Big exhales. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees in. Lower your head and open your arms. From here, we've got these knees up in the air. We're going to exhale and inhale, let the knees come away from you just a little. Exhale, gently pull the knees in, just a couple inches. So these are just inches, very small. We go out on the inhale. Exhale, draw the knees in using the lowest abdominals you have. And inhale, we go out. Exhale, draw them in. And away. Exhale, pulling them in. And back. Legs are staying nice and square. Let's do 2 more. Exhale, deeply draw them in. And out. Last one, pulling them in. Grab onto your knees and roll around on your lower back. All right, and then grabbing your weights, 1 in each hand this time, and bringing your elbows out wide. So the weights are, they're horizontal rather than vertical. So the elbows are out wide, feet are planted. Let's bring our heels just a little closer to our bum. We're going to be pressing up into our bridge, but also doing a chest press at the same time. So I want you to visualize you've got that block, that imaginary block between the knees. And as we exhale, we're just pushing up through the hips and at the same time pushing up through the arms, finding a strong bridge. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, we press, keeping the legs nice and parallel. Staying focused on keeping the inner thighs with us. Press and back. Now when we go into a bridge like this, we really have to be mindful to keep the abdominals on. That belly button is drawing in. And it's not only the glutes and hamstrings doing the work, but we want to make sure the abs are on too. Press and back. Exhale, up and back. And back. Last 2 here, we're going to add on, press it up and down. And on this last one, we're staying up. The weights turn now, so your palms are facing in. We're going to alternate lifting our heels. Exhale every time. And the shape of your bridge stays exactly the same. We're trying to stay nice and level, avoid any rotation, and really control this position. Up and down with the heels, alternating. Four more, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just check your abdominals. Let's lower the bum down just an inch. Exhale, push it back up. Keep the block, that imaginary block between the knees. And we lower the bum just a little. Exhale, drive your heels into the floor, lifting the hips. Lower down. If you feel your lower back, you might be lifting too high. Lower the bum and picking it back up. We have equal weight in the feet here. Really control that lower. Exhale, pushing it up, inner thighs. Let's do 4 more. Little drop and press it up. Find your abdominals every time. 3, 2. Less is more here. Last one. Holding this perfect bridge. Skull crushers to finish. Bending the elbow, letting the weights come past your ears past your head. Inhale down, exhale, extend the arm. Staying connected with the legs. Stay nice and parallel, knees are pointing forward. Over the head, extend the arms. 5 more, 5. Slow it down. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Roll your spine down to the mat. You should really feel your hamstrings and glutes there. Let's let these weights go off to the side, and when you're ready, flipping onto your tummy. Let your head rest on your hands for a moment. Let your legs go kind of wide and wiggle your hips. We're going to lift the head and the arms here into breaststroke 3. Big breath in, reach through the legs, squeeze your glutes, just hover the head and the upper back and the chest and lower everything down. Exhale, float it up and lower it down. Imagine someone's pulling you up by a string between your shoulder blades and lower. You're anchored by your legs, your abdominals, your glutes. And lower. Last one, we're going to stay up, tapping your elbows side to side. So your rib cage is still on the mat. You're rolling through your rib cage, staying lifted, and just tapping your elbows side to side. Reach through the legs. And 2 more. Letting the head come down, shaking your hips, and let's reach around with the right arm, grabbing onto the right ankle, and stretching our quad, hip flexor. Squeezing this right shoulder open, opening through the chest. And just letting your breath slow down. Noticing any areas of tension and just breathing into those spaces. One more big breath here. Releasing gently and switching sides. Reach that left arm around. Grab the left toes, ankle, foot, whatever you have access to. And then breathe. Try to release your hips into the floor. Try to keep your thigh on the mat. Squeeze this left shoulder, pulling it back and opening the chest. And just breathing deeply into your quad, your hip flexor. Gently release that. And let's push into our shell stretch. Thighs open or together, whatever feels right. Taking your shell and breathing. Try to visualize your spine being round rather than straight here. Okay, so just a little roundness. A little tiny lift of your rib cage, the back of your rib cage up towards the ceiling. Try to mimic the shape of the thigh, like you're curling over. And walk your hands off to the left, getting that nice big pull through the side body. Allow that right hip to fall back behind you, creating increased stretch there. And gently walk through center, coming off to the right, and then that left hip pulls back. And gently back to center. Ragdoll back up onto your knees. And let's just come to seated. If you have your cushion, just sit on that. Cross your legs or legs open, whatever feels right. And let's just stretch our forearms. Opening your palm forward, taking the other hand for a little tiny bit of overpressure. And then check your shoulder position. Pulling that shoulder back a little bit. If you do a lot of typing with your job, this is a great one to do. Opening the hand, opening the wrist. And let's do the other way. Now, palm down, reach through, and then just check your shoulder hasn't jutted forward too far. Okay. And switching it up, other side. Whenever I do this, my shoulder wants to go forward with my hand every single time. So just check your shoulder, bring it back. And then release, go the other way, palm down, getting the top of your forearm. Awesome. Releasing that, rolling through your shoulders. And let's just drop the chin down and look from side to side, dragging your chin across your chest, looking from shoulder to shoulder. And then do the same thing in extension. So looking up, very gently, just looking side to side. Most of us are not getting enough extension in our neck these days with phones and computers. So every once in a while, just stop in your day and do a little tiny bit of this. Just undoing some of that overflexion that we're doing in our necks. It's a real thing. I think we're finally into the era. We've had computers and phones long enough now. It's like serious. It's a text neck is a real thing now in our society. Believe me. Anyways, okay, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope you had a good workout. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you again soon. All right. Bye, guys.